Hi, I'm so glad that you're here. I've had this video on my mind for a really long time. I've been wanting desperately to create a TBR tree of sorts. I see a lot of bookstagrammers and booktubers who have those little carts where they place all of their high priority TBRs. Well, I don't have one of those, but I do have this really cool tree-like shelf that I would really like to utilize as a TBR tree. So I'm glad you're here. These are books that I'm not gonna get read overnight, but within the year, I want to have all these books read. I can typically read about 35 books a year, so this shelf could definitely accommodate that. So right now, it is a hot mess. Also, this shelf right here, all over the place, double stacked. I need more shelf space. Need it desperately. But this right here is what I want to focus on. Currently, absolute mess. It is a mix of books that I have read, haven't read, and I want to fix that. I want to start at the top with the highest priority TBR reads, as in like I want to read these right now, today, not a moment to waste. As it goes lower and lower, I'm going to lower the priority level. So the bottom shelf is going to be books that I want to get to at some point during the next year. But I'm really excited. Let's clean up my book area and let's start with this shelf because this is a whole other monster that I am just not ready for, all over the place. I think one of the hardest things about this video is going to be the fact that I'm going to have to split up my series that I haven't finished yet. So I can tell you right now what I'm not going to like. I have almost finished ACOTAR. This is the only one that I have left. So as you can imagine, I'm going to have the first four on my red shelf over here. And then this one all by its lonesome is gonna go over here. But I will tell you, this is a high priority TBR. I will be reading this very soon, so it's gonna go somewhere on the top shelf here. If you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe to the channel, stay up to date on bookish content, and let's get started. All right, I think that's a wrap. I've placed at the top of the shelf the books that I am the most excited about, cannot wait, have to get to them immediately. Of course, I have to finish ACOTAR. I just have Silver Flames left. I hear there's another book coming out early 2025. I want to be ready. Let's get it closer up here, shall we? I'm dying to know what happens after Powerless. So of course, I have to read Powerful and Reckless. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, I'm so excited about. This is the only secret project that I have yet to read by Brandon Sanderson, so dying to read this. I really want to read The Hobbit. I need to read Tolkien. I have to. I cannot call myself a fantasy lover without reading any Tolkien, so that's happening in the near future. This book is full of spiders. I've heard so many good things about it. I hear that the humor is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see what it's all about. The rest of these, there is just so much hype about. I have to know. I have to find out. So, of course, we have Empire of the Vampire, The Wishing Game, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Tons of hype about that one. And then, of course, When the Moon Hatched. This is the most beautiful cover. I absolutely love this. Had to buy it, but just need time to get around to it. So those are the books I'm going to be reading in the immediate future. This is the part that hurts. I started the Throne of Glass series. I read The Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, but I have to finish the rest of the series. So the first two books are going to sit over there on my red shelf, while these are going to be on my TBR tree. So I'm dying to get to those. These two books by Scott Lynch, I'm really excited to get into. This is following the Gentleman Bastard series, which the first one is called Lies of Locke Lamora. I really loved it, read it years ago, still think about it, and know that I need to finish the series. So that's going to be coming soon as well. The Wise Man's Fear, as well as The Slow Regard for Silent Things. This follows the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a series that is not yet finished, which is why I haven't gotten around to reading the rest of them yet. But I am dying to know what happens to Quoth next. I really want to know. A Fate Inked in Blood. There's just so much hype about this. This one came out really recently, and I've heard a lot of buzz about it, so I'm curious to see what it's all about. I know nothing about it, other than that it is fantasy. Once Upon a Broken Heart, I've heard a lot about, hear a lot of good things, can't wait to read it. Crescent City, I'm feeling skeptical. I've heard mixed reviews. The vast majority really like this book. Others are overwhelmed by the sheer amount of world building. So honestly, I don't quite know what to expect, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Foundry Side, I've heard a lot of good things about. Project Hail Mary, a ton of people rave about this book. Ton of people. All right. The Black Prism, I've heard so much about. Brent Weeks, I haven't read anything by him, so I'm really excited to dive in and see what it's all about. The Reading List, I bought a long time ago. The premise really captivates me, and I really want to get around to reading it. I also want to read The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros because why? I loved Fourth Wing. I loved Iron Flame. I want to see what her other work is about. This is just a romance novel, so it's not fantasy, which might be a little weird, but I want to see how she does. I want to give Stephen King another try because historically, I haven't liked Stephen King. I've read several of his novels that I just didn't really care for. The Shining was okay. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, I didn't like it. I read Gerald's Game, really didn't care for it either. The Secret Lives of Booksellers by James Patterson, I'm just really intrigued. I love a book about books and booksellers. Who doesn't? The Night Ends with Fire is a book my husband bought for me, and I need to read it. It looks gorgeous. This is a beautiful copy of this book. We have Dark Dawn and God's Grave, which follow the Nevernight series by Jay Kristoff. I can't wait. I loved Nevernight, but I just have to be in the right mood for it. You know what I mean? I'm a mood reader, and this is one that I want to take my time with and really enjoy every sentence because it's beautifully written. I love the story, so I'm really excited to get to these. I have intentionally left this one open because new books always capture my attention, and I wanted to leave room for me to add to my TBR tree. Leave me a comment. Are any of these on your TBR cart or your TBR tree? If they are, let me know which ones. If you've read any of these, let me know what I should place at the top of the tree. If you've stuck around so far, thanks for sticking with me. And let me know what's highest priority on your TBR tree or TBR cart, or your just overall TBR. At some point, I'm gonna have to get to this disaster of a shelf. That's a project for a different day and a different time. It is a hot mess, but the vast majority is somewhat organized. I have most of my prized possession of Sanderson books up on top. I have just a mess of other stuff on the bottom, double stacked, triple stacked. It's a mess. Realistically, I need more shelves. I'll have to figure that out soon. Thanks for sticking with me so far, and happy reading.